using the scales, C melodic. Hi, this is Sean, and in this lesson we're going to look at a tune that a lot of people end up playing when they go to a jam session, which is Blue Bossa, and we'll look at the use of the melodic minor scale within that, and why I use a C minor 6, not the C minor 7th that you'll often see written on lead sheets or in books. If you're interested in getting more fluency in your improvisation, then consider joining us on Jazz Skills, where we have a developing fluency course to show you the language. Meanwhile, please do give us a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content. It's really helping us to grow and do more of this for you. Let's get into the lesson. Yeah, let's take the melodic minor a little bit and talk about its uses. Obviously, we're touching on, we're just touching on areas today as a bit of a taste. So, melodic minor. For me, the melodic minor scale is just the ascending version. I know that most of you in classical will have learned to go up one way and down another. So, many of you will have learned to go up one way and down a different way. I'm not doing any of that. For me, it's the C major with a flat 3 in both directions, all right? So that's a real important distinction. I want to be able to say, want to be able to take that descend as well. So melodic minor is great when you're on a minor 6 chord. Why? Because let's say it's C minor 6. Can you see how that C minor 6 comes from the C melodic minor scale? Anyway, there's the 1, 3, 5, and 6, the flat 3, of course, right? Contrary to what some people think, minor 6 does not have some flat 6 in it. We're not describing the 6 when we say C minor 6. We're describing the minor part, right? So C6 is like that, same as C major 6. C minor 6 is like that. Now, if you listen to, I'm reluctant to call it the standards era. I don't think that's doing it much of a service. But, before that sort of 1959-ish period kind of blue and things start to move in a different direction. Before that, if you listen to your favorite players, if you listen to Teddy Wilson, for example, you listen to Bud Powell, you listen to Barry Harris, listen to Tommy Flanagan, people are using minor 6s in minor tunes, right? In minor keys, let's also say. So let's say I'm in the key of C minor. It was C minor 6, for example, Summertime. In fact, if I give you 2 examples, here's example A. Here's example B. Which one to you, I'm not asking which one's better, which one to you sounds more minor? The first one I played or the second one I played? Let's call it, yep, yeah. Most people are saying B, right? And that's a minor 6 sound, which for me is the sound of the minor. First of all, let's talk about why for me it's a minor 6, not a minor 7th on a minor tune. Certainly on a standard, an older tune, right? Because which chord do we get from the 5th degree on a melodic minor scale? Yeah, G7, right? So G7 is on the 5th of C melodic minor. We need the dominant to establish tonality, send us back home, right? Now, if we go with this, more of this sort of Dorian minor 7-y sort of stuff, we haven't got that same G7 implied within the C minor sound, if you see what I mean, because it's not available in the scale. So for me, books often write minor 7s where minor 6s actually belong. And in those cases, if you listen to Barry Harris playing, I believe it's with Dexter Gordon, playing Blue Bossa, we're going to look at Blue Bossa a bit in a minute. Not a tune I typically have taught before, but so many members go to jam sessions and somebody calls Blue Bossa that we've got to talk about that, right? You listen to Barry Harris play it, minor 6. So it's that sound. Okay, so on minor 6s, we want that melodic minor sound. This is Blue Bossa. Certainly on the C minors, right? See that minor 6 sound? really has a minory sound for me, right? But there are also other places where we could use a melodic minor sound. Now, I would take, let's say, the G7. That's a good place for a melodic minor sound. I mean, they're great when they're going back to minor, but they don't have to go back to minor, these ones we're going to look at. And what we do is we take a half step above that. We won't get a chance to go into all the whys of that today, but we use the A flat, let's just call it melodic minor, on G7. So now we end up with this, D half diminished, G7 with A flat melodic. Like that, right? So that gives you a beautiful sound on a dominant chord. Melodic minor scale again. So now we've got two melodic minor scales going along. Believe it or not, there's another opportunity on this tune for a melodic minor. Does anyone know what it is? I mean, there are obviously other dominants we could do it on, but can anyone see another one? Yes, exactly. They call that the altered scale in books. So, yeah, and courses. Yeah, it's just A flat melodic minor though. And, you know, in the Barry Harris stuff, we get the A flat minor 6 diminished, so we get movement if we don't just think of it as, you know, one fixed chord like a G7 with a flat 9 and I guess a sharp 5 and a flat 9, you know, we get movements. One of my students came to me and said, would you show me something that a guitarist told me? And I said, what is it? And he said, well, you take a scale and you go root, then you go flat 9, then you go sharp 9, then you go third, and then you go sharp 11, and then you go sharp 5, I think he said, or flat sharp 5, and you know what? I think it was there. Then flat 7. No, I'm getting lost. Yeah, it must be flat 7. And root again. You know what it was? It was just A flat melodic minor over G7. So I find that a much more intuitive way to figure it out. Yes, on D half diminished, D minor 7 flat 5, that could be a good place for an F melodic minor. Now, it's not the default scale, because what we said previously was that on a minor 2-5, you could take the C harmonic minor, and you certainly can. Certainly on that part. So you can do that. This is another option. So what you could do also, if you want a different sound, is take the F melodic minor on the D minor 7 flat 5. Because D minor 7 flat 5, when you invert it, is F minor 6, right? So we could take F melodic minor. And then on the G7, I had that A flat melodic minor again. So now we've got on all the 2-5-y stuff and the 1 on C minor, we had a melodic minor. On D minor 7 flat 5 to G7, we had an F melodic minor there. We had an A flat 1 there, back to the C 1 there. And if I mark the others that are the same, look how much of this can be learned with melodic minor scales. This D minor 7 should really have a flat 5 on it. Doesn't matter too much because it'll only be the bass. We're not gonna hear the chords. But all of that can be melodic minor. And to be honest, if you went even deeper, you could put one on the A flat as well, but we won't get as far as that today. There's too much to fit in. So what I'm going to do is just play those places just so we can see how they sound. And I'll try and be quite scaly. Using the scales, C melodic. Get the idea. Did you manage to spot any of those as I went past? Hopefully when I was explaining the scales, that was quite clear. So just practicing 3 melodic minor scales can be very useful on a tune like that. And those people who are wondering on this area that looks like the toughest part, this one often catches people out. this whole area. Any ideas what you might play on there? Let's see if anyone has some ideas. Exactly, D flat major, because it's 2-5-1 in D flat. And there are other choices as well, but that's your simplest choice, okay? By the way, on the F minor 7, it can be like the E flat major scale, because that's also a C minor scale. That's another way of playing C minor. So that seems to be for me where the F minor 7 comes from. Just the E flat major scale there is okay for me. All right, so that's Blue Bossa. Hope you enjoyed that. Consider joining us on Jazz Skills, where we have a developing fluency course to teach you the language and get you fluent playing it. So it's not just academic information, and much more after that, including improvisation, voicings, movements, rhythm, accompanying, support from me and a vibrant community. You name it, we've got it. Take care. Bye for now.